Hello everyone, welcome to Webnestify channel. Today we are diving into the fascinating world of email servers, specifically focusing on Mailcow, a personalized open source email server. You may be asking why explore this subject when there are ready to use platforms like Google and Microsoft. Interestingly enough, some folks prefer to take reins, setting up their own email systems for a variety of reasons, such as customization, control, and enhanced security. Let it be noted right at the outset, running your own email server is no cakewalk. It requires technical proficiency and constant attention, something that not everyone may be inclined to commit to. But don't worry, if you find the idea enticing but doubting, remember that's where we at Webnestify come in. We can help manage your own email server and take care of it so you can spend your valuable time taking care of your business. So in this video, I will walk you through in an in-depth Mailcow installation process, show you how to navigate the platform, and discuss the pros and cons of managing your own personal email server. We will unveil some insider info on IP warming and reputation management. Intrigued? Let's get started. And now let's talk a little bit about Mailcow. I already coupled Mailcow, I think, year and a half ago on my channel, and it still stays probably the best open source email server solution that you can use nowadays. There are also other solutions like Mail in the Box that you could use, but I really prefer simplicity and the devs behind the Mailcow. So when you visit their GitHub page, you can read a lot about this. And also when you visit the mailcow.email website, first what you will see updates. Every month they release new updates, new fixes, new features. So this is what I really love to see for an open source project and also email server, because you are running this in your business to offer emails for your customers, for yourself. So you don't want to keep using software that's been outdated, So yeah. And also a lot of security fixes can happen. So yeah, this is really great project that if you want to get into managing your email, of course, use it, but it's completely up to you. I still don't recommend using your own email server, but I'm here so you can make your own informed decision. All right. And also, if you really don't want to handle the email and still want to use like open source project, Mailcow offers a managed hosting for the email server, or even they can offer you support for your own instance. Yeah, when you go to, all links will be in the description, but when you go to manage Mailcow, you can see it's really cheap. Yeah, they will handle everything, the server, the installation, so you don't need to worry about anything. You have a couple options. And yeah, as you can see, like 3 months is for 138 euros, 6 months is for 268, and 1 year is for 525 euros, which is, you might say, is a little bit pricier against the traditional email providers, but you need to understand that this requires expertise, people, your own server, and everything. The IP management, IP reputation, email monitoring. We will cover this also in this video briefly. And yeah, so that's the price tag, because freedom is not free. Freedom has its price. Yes, for Google, Microsoft, you can pay $5, €5 a month, but they are using the data to train the AI or even sell this data. So yeah, that's why they can afford it so cheap. Otherwise, it will be also very expensive. So I think that's it about the Mailcow, and now let's start talk about the server infrastructure that you need to have in order to get Mailcow up and running. So for the server provider, you already know that I'm partnering with Hetzner for many years, and it never let me down. It's been rock solid, stable, features are there. There are no paywalls behind the security features like in other providers. And the prices are just out of this world. It's really, really cheap to run your own email server on Hetzner. What you will need, you can also read in my documentation that I created before. But basically, you will need to have unblocked email ports from your server provider. In Hetzner, when you create your account, for example, today, and you request to open ports, they most likely will decline it because they don't know you as customers. Because all the providers like Contebo or some not well-known providers, they keep ports open so they can attract more people. But what is happening actually, the IP reputation is being hurt because those emails are probably most of the time spam emails, malvertising campaigns, etc., etc. So anyone can sign up, get server, get emails, and they can send millions of emails to everyone. So that's why Hetzner keeps those things locked. And once you prove that you have a really good reputation or that you are a good customer, normal customer, right? You request email ports, you tell them why you want, and they will approve and they will open ports. And I will show you also in the Hetzner console how it will look like. So let's jump straight to our Hetzner console. So now we are in our Hetzner console, in our Hetzner account. And when you want to open traffic for ports 20, 25, and 465, this for the email servers, you need to go to the limits, request change, and here you can request unblocking ports. And here you put the description why you want to unblock those ports on those server. It will be account wide, so every server will have those ports open, so you need to make sure. And you can also read their documentation about those kind of things. And yeah, basically, yeah, you need to be normal customer, not use servers for abusing, and they will approve your port unblocking request. All right, so let's say Hetzner unblocked your ports and you are ready to deploy your server. So first thing what you will need to do is set up a proper firewall for your Mailcow instance. So when we navigate to the firewalls, you can see I already created a Mailcow firewall. And first rule is standard like SSH. You can put your own IP address if you have a VPN, or you can just keep it to any. That's completely up to you. But ports that you will need to keep open is TCP port 25. Also, we will need a TCP port 80, which is HTTP for your Mailcow interface on the website. Then TCP 110, TCP 143, and also TCP 443, which is for HTTPS. And other ports are TCP 465, TCP 587, TCP 993, TCP 995, and TCP 4190. Those ports Mailcow requires to be open, so you can send emails and receive emails without any issues. Most of those ports you see there, those are responsible for the email, SMTP, and other stuff in the background. I know it sounds worrying to keep those ports open to the public, but that's another risk or danger that you will take if you want to manage or get your own email server. You will need to keep this open, otherwise the emails will not be sending. So that's it. And now let's deploy our Mailcow server in Hetzner. So when you are in your Hetzner console, feel free to choose any location of your likings. You can choose Europe, Singapore, or US East or US West. In my case, we're going to be Europe. We will choose Debian 12 because we don't need any additional stuff from Ubuntu because Mailcow is fully Dockerized. So we will stick with the leanest and cleanest system that's possible, which is Debian 12. We completely can get with the share CPU. We don't need so much performance for the Mailcow, but only requirement is to have at least 4 gigabytes of system memory, which is CPX21. And also, you can also go with the ARM64 architecture, but I found I got some issues when updating the Mailcow on ARM, so I switched back to just standard x86 systems. So yeah, we have 3 CPU cores, 4 gigs RAM, 80 gigabytes of SSD, that's completely fine, and 20 terabytes of traffic, which is very, very generous. All the providers for this price point, you can even get the server specs for this price point. And for the network, you want to disable public IPv6 because we don't need IPv6 at the moment. For volumes, you don't need any volumes. If you have, I guess you already have your SSH key, and then you will apply the firewall you created for your Mailcow instance. Backups are really necessary. You need to make backup before you're updating the Mailcow, which will be shown later also in the video. And you can even create the placement group. You can put labels, or you can get the cloud init configuration. So let me open my cloud init. So I have my cloud init. You can also find video about the cloud init where you can download it. And I'm just going to paste it there, and I will name the server. Yeah, for now, what I recommend is to specify a domain. So in this case, it will be mail.webnestify.org. This will be our mailing domain that we will use. And then we can click create and buy now. Perfect. So our server is ready. And what you want to do now is to copy the IP address. So once you copy the IP address of the server, then go back to your specified domain you've chosen. In this case, it's webnestify.org. And what we want to create is our A record with mail.webnestify.org, and make sure to keep the proxy off. Otherwise, it will not work. And we can click save. And after the Mailcow installation, we will continue here with the additional DNS records. So I'm going to show it to you once we have our instance up and running. All right, so yeah, our server should be up and ready and we can connect it. So I have opened a terminal on my Mac Studio, and I can just connect to the server that we just created. And yes, I forget to connect myself to VPN. So hold on a second. All right, I have activated my VPN, and we can now SSH into our server. And of course, my SSH is behind the 1Password, which is great. And we can authorize this connection to our server. And as you followed my cloud init, first you log in, it will ask you for the current password that you specified in your cloud init, and then you will need to change it. Okay, and now we can connect back as our local sudo user. We don't need to do any system standard configuration because everything you specify in the cloud init file. All right, so let me just elevate myself. And also one crucial thing before you prepare your Mailcow installation is you need to edit your reverse DNS. In Hetzner is really easy. You just go to the networking tab and here you can click edit reverse DNS and you put your mailing domain you chose. So it will be mail.webnestify.org. And this basically reverse DNS will need to communicate with your DNS record. This is really important. If you don't set up your reverse DNS, your email will land most likely in a spam or even not being delivered at all. So keep that in mind. Make sure to change the reverse DNS. That should be fine. And yeah, we can now proceed with the Mailcow installation. I already have the installation guide also in the documentation portal that I have, but you can also go to the Mailcow documentation and you can follow steps. So first we need to install our Docker. So let me open a warp. As you can see, we are already in the root. So let me, everything is slow today. We can paste the script and it will install our Docker on our server. I have to switch from a warp terminal to standard macOS terminal because there was some latency issue. I don't know, I probably need to update it. But for now, just plain terminal is enough. So we have Docker installed. We can verify it by running docker vim. And here we can see we have the latest Docker version on our distribution. Next, what is required is to follow the steps. This should be all good, but I make everything simple and you can just follow this guide I created. So we navigate to opt folder, cd/opt. Then we will clone this repository, Mailcow Dockerized. And probably on Debian 12 Git is not installed by default, so apt install git y. And now we can clone the Mailcow Dockerized repository. After that, you will need to navigate to cd Mailcow Dockerized, cd Mailcow Dockerized, and then we will generate our config by executing this command. I mean the script. So it will be generate config.sh and it will now ask you for the mail server hostname. So it will be mail.webnestify.org. Time zone Europe, Bratislava, but you will put your own time zone you are in. Available branches, just go with the master branch, which is number 1. And now it will generate the SSL certificate and check the IP address if it's clean and all other stuff. And now we are ready to start our Mailcow installation. And also you can edit the Mailcow configuration if you want to make further changes beforehand. For example, you can change the database name, database password, Redis password. That is completely up to you. But by default, it is pretty straightforward and okay. So let me exit that. And now what is left to do is to run docker compose upd. So let me done that. Why is everything so slow today? This is crazy. Jesus. So docker compose upd, and we can also see all the logs. Docker compose logs -f to follow those logs. So press enter, and now it will pull all the necessary containers and set up your Mailcow system. All right, and as you can see, we have our Mailcow system installed on our server. And as you can see, logs, everything looks correct. There are no errors, so we can proceed to log into our admin interface. So let me exit out of this. And how to log into your server, you just go to mail.webnestify.org or your domain you specified, and the standard default username and password I think will be admin and password muhu. Okay, that's not that. So let me go back to docs and let me find the admin password. Password. Let me search. I thought, or maybe it may be the double O admin mu who. Nope. So let me search. Mailcow default password. And Mailcow default password is muhu. Ah, okay. Username admin for the username and password. Okay. Alright, so I know where was the issue. As you can see, you can log in as admin and it will go admin and password muhu. And now you are in the administrative interface of your Mailcow instance. First thing what you want to do is to change your username and also password. So let me just go to the system configuration, and here we can see our admin user. We can click edit. You will name it, for example, as however you want, and then you want to generate password using your Bitwarden. I recommend using passphrase, which is secret than password. Let me go that, and we can click save changes. Of course, I want to save it, this login, in my Bitwarden. And let me now log in and log back in. And another things what we need to set up is the two-factor authentication. So when you go to settings, here you can select which two-factor you want to use. In this case, we can use time-based OTP. And for example, this will be stored also in the Bitwarden. You paste your password. You go to the Bitwarden, go to Vault, open your login, click edit, and here you can see the icon of the camera, so it will grab the QR code. Then we can click save. And now what we can do is to paste our DOTP code. Let me go here. Again, you can click save. And now we copy this code, paste it there. And now our 2FA should be activated. And also what I recommend to use is a passkey. So if you have your YubiKey, you can set it up. Or you can use web-out token, which you can also store in your Bitwarden. So let's just activate this. And let's do identifier of your device, which will be Bitwarden. And now let me generate, copy the password. And we can start validation. And here Bitwarden will ask you if you want to store passkeys for this username. Yes, we want to store the passkey. And as you can see, we have now our passkey there. So let me just log out. And instead of it, you can log in just with the passkey. You click this 5.2, web out and login. And let me open it again. And we don't have any passkey for this because we will need to probably add also our domain there. So let me just edit. And yeah, it should be good to go, I think. All right. So let me just log in normally. Ah, I see. Okay. Now we can verify with the Bitwarden. All right. So that was the web auth token. But if you want to log in with the passkey, we need to go back again to the configuration, and we need to select the Ubico OTP authentication, I think. Let me see. No. Okay, should be fine. And log in with FIDO. We need to register our FIDO2 device. And if you have a Touch ID on your Apple, you can use this, but we can also register our FIDO2 device. And we will use again Mailcow, and we will override it. And this should be it. We can rename it. It will be called Bitwarden. Save changes. We can now log out. And now we can click this FIDO2, choose the passkey, and we are logged in. No passwords, no TOTP code, just pure secure passkey login, which is amazing. And I highly recommend using it. Perfect. So another things in the Mailcow main dashboard, as you can see, you have some system overview. You have the host name, IP version, which is the latest, and some system memory, CPU. And here you can see some container information. These are all containers that Mailcow is using. Acme for SSL certificates, MySQL, nginx, and all other required containers. And you can always go there and you can see the status like this.io, net.io, and you can even restart those containers from the user interface. Here, if you decide to support Mailcow and get support, here you can get register your Mailcow instance. And other than that, as you can see, another menu, we have the logs. So when you go to postfix, you can check all the logs here, right from the user interface. And basically that's it from the admin configuration. You can probably also set up some fail to ban parameters, because those ports are open to public, so fail to ban is really necessary. So here you can specify the fail to ban parameters. Other than that, you can also set your password policy. So password length more than 20 must contain alphabet characters, special characters, everything. So click Save Changes, and this will be our required password. For the routing, I usually never played with routing, so that's fine. And system emails, you can also specify system emails from the Mailcow. So once we have our administrative account secured, we can now proceed with the email. So first we go to email and configuration, but we don't have any email mailbox or any domain. So first thing what we're going to add is our domain. So we will add our domain. Our sending domain will be main domain will be webnestify.org. And here you can specify how many aliases, how many mailboxes, default mailbox quota, and those completely up to you how you want to change it. And DKIM, choose always the highest, 4096 bits. And now what we can add is our add domain and restart our Sogo container. Alright, now our domain is there, and we can now set up our DNS. And this is really important to follow properly. So when you go to action, you click the DNS, it will generate the DNS record that you need to add. At the moment, there is no automatic import to Cloudflare, but I think you can also download those DNS records, and I think you can import it in the Cloudflare, but I never tried that, so this will be the first time. So let me just import. We're gonna select the file, and we're gonna go to downloads, and I think should be here. You're gonna click open, uncheck the proxy DNS records, and click upload. And yeah, this is not compatible with Cloudflare import, so we will need to do it step by step manually. So let me split those steps so you can also see it. And first a record we already have. The PTR, which is reverse proxy, we already have. You can see the check mark. And now we will need to add our TLSA record in our Cloudflare. So we will add our record. Type will be TLSA. Name will be mail.webnestify.org. TTL will be automatic, that's fine. Usage, I think it will be 311. And certificate, we will copy this value because this is the hash certificate. Nope. 311. We will paste it there, and also we need to add like what is it? 20p.tcp. I think this should be it. And as you can see, it should correspond this with this. So we can click save. That should be completely okay now. And now we will add our CNAME. Or actually we will add our MX record, which will be the main DNS record for email sending. So we will add record, name, it will be MX. Come on. MX, it will be root for our root domain. It will be mail.webnestify.org. And priority, they does not specify the priority, but we can put priority 1 because it is only MX record in our DNS. Another record we will add is auto-discover. So it will be CNAME, name will be auto-discover webnestify.org, and it will point to mail.webnestify.org. Save. Another, we will have our service record. So we will add our CRV. Name will be CRV. Autodiscover.tcp webnestify.org. And they does not specify any other things that you will need to add there. So let's just Google quickly Mailcow CRV DNS record. And here in the DNS setup, when you search CRV, as you can see, type in priority 0, wait 0, port 443. So priority 0, wait 0, port 443. And TTL is auto. Let me double check. Priority 0, wait 1. Okay. We can click save and target. Yes. Target will be mail.webnestify.org. Another DNS will be autoconfig, which will be CNAME at record, CNAME autoconfig, and it will be mail.webnestify.org. Make sure to disable the proxy record. And then also we will need to add our SPF. Okay, so we're gonna add our text record. And again, they does not specify here, but you have link for SPF syntax. But when you go to DNS setup, search SPF. Where is it? Yeah, Here you copy this value, you paste it there, and basically we only allow to sign from our MX, which is good. Sometimes you can put even the IP address, but in this case it's fine. And we can click save. That should be okay. For the DMARC, this is optional, but it is highly recommending to use your DMARC monitoring system. When you Google free postmark DMARC, you can get your free DMARC monitoring from Postmark within the monthly. You will get a free weekly digest notifying you how your emails are sending, if there are any issues. And this is completely free and it is completely fine to use. You can even sign up for the paid version from Postmark, or when you go to webnestify.cloud, I think in the footer I have managed email security, and you can also use Webnestify email service monitoring. So yeah, you don't need to worry about anything. But that's completely up to you. You can stay on free Postmark DMARC, which we are going to set right now. All right. So what will be our email address? So first it will be info@webnestify.org and send reports about this domain, which will be webnestify.org. Now we can get started for free, and we can now copy this value, only the underscore DMARC. Go back to our Cloudflare. We're gonna add another text record, and then we will paste this from the Postmark itself. And we can click save. That should be fine. And now we need to add our DKIM, which is really, really necessary and important. So let me add another text record. And we copy this value. Can click save. And now let's go back to the Postmark and we can verify the domain, and we have successfully verified our DMARC. All right, so our domain setup is done, and as you can see, it's a little bit harder for non-technical folks, but if you follow this video, this tutorial, you will be good to go, and you will sure you have everything set up properly. All right, so let me refresh the page. And when we open the DNS again, as you can see, we have everything checked, so everything is verified and good to go. And we can now proceed with creation of our email mailbox. Okay, let me close this. And now, yes, now we're gonna create our mailboxes. So first we edit our domains, and now we want to create our mailbox. So we will create our mailbox, click add a mailbox, and it will be username, which can be info@webnestify.org. Full name is Simon. And also we will generate the password, which we specify the password policy. And also here you can limit the quotas, some notifications, etc., etc. Usually I leave this by default, so we can just go to the add our mailbox. That's it. And what you now want to do, you can also log in as this user, and you can go to the webmail. And let me copy that, go to apps, webmail, and I want to log into the webmail. Alright, so to access your webmail, what you need to do is to completely log out as user and admin. And then when you log into webmail, you can see one button, and you can now access your email mailbox in the Mailcow itself. So first, let me do some simple mail tester check to see if our security authentication is all fine. We can copy this temporary email address, then check your score, and we will send our new email address, and we will add our new system. I'm gonna, hello, our new email system is just amazing, and hopefully everything will work smoothly, and we will send it. And hopefully our spam results will be 10 out of 10, which I expect all the time. And we have score 7 out of 10, and we have some issue with Webnestify.org does not use info@webnestify.org. Alright, so yes, as I was mentioning, we will need to specify also the IP address. I forget to edit that IPv4 address. So yeah, let me just quickly fix that. Where is our Cloudflare? Alright, we are back in our Cloudflare, so we will edit our SPF record. So we will edit this, and we will add the IPv4 there. We can click save. The DNS propagation on Cloudflare is almost instant. So we can go back to the mail tester. And get a new email address. And we're gonna be sent, and we will send this email once again. So let me forward this message, and we will forward it there. We will send, and we will check our score, and hopefully now it will be 10 out of 10 because we have fixed the SPF. And that's it. We fix the SPF, and as you can see, everything is in green mark, and we have scored 10 out of 10, which is really, really amazing. And basically there's nothing left to do for the email authentication. So let me clear some tabs so we get some nice space, and yeah, we have SPF, everything we have. So what you can do if you don't want to use the webmail interface, you can use any email client, Outlook, Thunderbird, Apple email, whatever you decide. So let's just set up our Apple client, because now I have it, so let's do it. So standard in Mac, you want to add your mail account, and it will be info@webnestify.org. Your password you generate, and we can click sign in, and it should automatically pick up everything. If not, what you can do, you will need to use mail.webnestify.org and mail.webnestify.org. You can click sign in, and should be all working properly. And yeah, I'm gonna select for email, and that's pretty it. And I think we have now our email connected, which is amazing. When we go to send, we already can see our email addresses. So it's really simple to set up your email application on your desktop. And if you are not sure, here in the Mailcow itself, you can see the Apple connection profile for the calendars contact, or you can show the configuration guides for email clients and smartphones. So you won't be lost in it is pretty straightforward, like any other client. But if you did not add those serve as CRV DNS records, then you won't be able to auto discover and auto connect to this domain. So those DNS records are really, really necessary to have. And also, it was really nice that you can control the spam filter on any email mailbox. As you can see, you have sliders here, and you can filter which is spam, which is not spam. I usually leave it by default, it's completely okay. So yeah, but you can play with it whatever you want. And yes, that's basically it for this. For the mailboxes and those kind of things, you can create some temporary email aliases. And yeah, there's for the user settings, this is pretty straightforward and simple. Once you create your account, you won't need to log in back again. Only if, for example, your customers forget the password, so you will need to reset the password. But you can reset it through the admin interface. So let me log in as admin. I'm gonna use the passkey. We will go to email configuration, mailboxes, and here we can edit, and here we can regenerate the password. That's pretty it. And yeah, that I think concludes the Mailcow installation and overview of the Mailcow system. And yeah, now we need to talk about the pros and cons of running your own email servers. All right, so the pros and cons of running your own email server. So let's start with the pros. Why you should run your own email server. First reason why most of the people decide to run their own email server is to be GDPR compliant, probably, and also they want to have a full control over the data. They don't want to support companies with advertisement, selling, and those kind of things. Another great reason and benefit is that you can create unlimited mailboxes where you, as an administrator, you don't need to pay anything. You only pay for the server itself, which in this case, this server is cost like 8 euros or 7 euros a month, and you can create unlimited mailboxes. You have no limitations on the sending email, and only hard limit is the disk storage. So it really depends then how big the mailboxes you will create. Another benefit is that yeah, you can sell those to the customers. You can, for example, ask 5 or 10 euros. You can include it in your hosting packages, in your services, and also you can use it also as a marketing email domain. So you don't need to pay hundreds of euros each month for the marketing emails. And downsides, well, you see the setup, what we did, how we did. This is just the simple basic stuff which you can follow step by step. But then it also comes the server administration, fixes. If you have some issues with something, you will need to SSH into server, find the issue, sort it out. So the emails are sending, customers are not affected. So this is really big responsibility for a system administrator, and it is not for anyone. Yes, it is very easy to follow my guides step by step. I made it publicly available to anyone who want to learn, because the most important thing is, to try it, to break it, to fix it. Do that 10, 20, 30, 40 times, and you will be confident that you can handle those kind of services for your customers. Another downside is that it is very, very easy to get your IP address blacklisted, because you don't have control over your customers, what they are sending, where they are sending, how much they are sending. You can put some standard limits, but that's basically it. Imagine if their website got hacked, you connect SMTP to your server, and their website will send 1 million of spam emails. What happened? Will be straight up blacklisted, and all the mailboxes on the IP address will be blacklisted. So that's also a huge risk you need to consider. And another downsides are, sometimes the network can get stuck, can get dropped, the performance will not be very good, and emails can be queue in the email queue. So it sometimes happen, not often, but sometimes. But there are a lot of risk with running your own email server. And yeah, I think that we covered those, some pros and cons. And also, one thing to keep in mind is that your IP address that you set up your server will be unknown to many email providers, to Microsoft, Yahoo, Google. They don't know about reputation of your IP address from this email, so you will need to do the IP warmup. And IP warmup is really necessary. But first, it also depends if you want to use it for the business or if you want to use it for marketing and sending a lot of emails. If you want to send a lot of emails, you will need to plan this because it is process that I recommend will take over 60 days. And what is the process of IP warmup? Well, once we start sending campaigns, to start tracking and try to understand the nature of campaign, so it's best use the best list in the warmup period. That means if you know what are your customers or subscribers the most engaged, you will need to start the IP warmup with them. And the first initial 14-day period is really crucial because we are building a foundational IP and domain reputation. So days 1 to 14, objective: establish a solid initial reputation for the IP and domain by sending emails to known responsive contacts, friends, employees, personal collection. There are some key actions. You will need to send at least 3 different emails per day. Also, they will need to reply to those emails 2-3 times per day. So those email providers can see the ongoing communication between those email addresses. This is really, really necessary. And after that, we will go to the ramp up schedule. So this warm up schedule is for example, for 33,000 subscribers, right? So first day after a 15 day, you will send to list 1, 10 contacts, and then it will gradually increase the number of email addresses, right? So yeah, this is only for the marketing stuff. If you want to send emails in bulk, you will need to build your reputation as trusted bulk sender. And there are some tips for success. You will need to prioritize the engagement. So as I mentioned, start with your most active and engaged customers. You will need to monitor the feedback loops, track engagement rates, bounces, and complaints. This is where the DMARC comes. Free postmark DMARC will not give you those kind of gradual checks, but if you use the paid postmark DMARC monitoring, or even if you decide to sign up to Webnestify email monitoring, we can walk you through. Every week we can schedule a call and I can walk you through all the emails, and yeah, I will help you with this also. And yeah, another best practices are to avoid spammy words, use the best list, provide quality content, and only send to subscribed users. Because if you send email to someone and it will bounce or mark as spam, you know what happens. Your IP reputation will go down and you can be blacklisted. Okay, so the bulk sender IP warmup we covered, but what if you want to use your Mailcow only for the standard B2B or B2C, the standard business email without any SMTP? Well, in that case, that's pretty simple. It will take at least 7 days to build this reputation. And what you need to do is to just send emails to your friends, to your employees, and keep the conversation going like three emails per day and also 3 replies, and keep it going 7 days, and then you will sure that your IP is in a good standing with most of the email providers. So yeah, for the business use it's really simple. For the bulk sending, yes, it will require some work from your side. But don't worry, also I have a service for the dedicated IP Warmup. Just contact me and we can figure something out together. Alright, so yes, I think that will be it. And as I mentioned at the beginning, if you don't want to go through the process we've done today, you can get the managed Mailcow instance from the Mailcow team itself. Is worth the price. The price is not very expensive in my eyes, and still you will just manage the mailboxes, nothing else, the server side, the updates, the security. It will be on all the Mailcow team. Or if you like what I'm doing, you can also become a Webnestify customer. That's completely up to you. So yeah, that's it for this video, and let's roll the outro. So in this section, I'm going to show you how you can securely update your Mailcow server. So first of all, log into your server provider. In this case is Hetzner. And what you want to do, you want to turn off the server first. And once the server is being turned off, what you want to go to the backup section. And you want to run a manual backup. So we just need to wait until the server is turned off. Let me just reload it. Alright, the server is now turned off and you can run the manual backup. And this is for the full data consistency on the disk. So we can run it and it will delete the oldest backup. Click OK. And now we just wait until the manual backup is finished. Alright, so the backup have been done on the server, and then you just turn on the server and you SSH into it. So once you are into the server as SSH, you want to navigate to cd opt and Mailcow Dockerized. When you do ls, you can see we have the update script. So we want to run this update script. So we just do run it, and we can just navigate to the update.sh. Okay, yes, sh update.sh. And yeah. Okay, so the backup on the server have been done. You turn on the server and you SSH into your Mailcow instance. Once you are in the server, you want to navigate to cd/opt/Mailcow Dockerized. When you do ls, you can see we have our update script, update.sh. So we want to run this. So we're gonna execute it, .sh. And first it will ask you to basically update the sh script, which you can see update.sh change. Please run this script again. So we will run it again. And now it will ask you if you are sure to update Mailcow Dockerized. All containers will be stopped. You want to say yes. Do you want to read release note before proceeding? You want to proceed with the update, and you can read those notes. So we go type yes. And also this step is recommended. Mailcow will try to roll back the changes if starting Docker fails after modifying the daemon.json configuration file. Should we try to enable native IPv6 implementation in Docker now? If you have your IPv6 enabled on the server, you type yes. If no, in this case, no. And now it will update all the Mailcow image containers. So you just need to wait. Alright, and as you can see, the update have been done, and now it will ask you if you want to remove the unused Mailcow images. Usually you want to type yes, and it will delete all the images. And if you want to even further clean the garbage collected by Docker, can just first check if the containers are up. So I'm gonna do docker ps, and everything looks fine. And you want to type docker system prune, and it will remove any garbage left. All right, and that's it. You have successfully updated your Mailcow instance. And that, folks, concludes our dive into Mailcow and the idea of hosting your own email server. As you can see, although it can be quite a technical challenge, it is also a task with potential benefits. But still, if you reach the end of this video and find yourself thinking, this sounds like a lot of tech tinkering to keep up with, remember, you are not alone. That's where we at Webnestify come in. We are proficient in managing email servers and more, letting you focus on your valuable time elsewhere. So if you ever want to set up your own email server but prefer a professional hand in maintaining it, please get in touch with us. And before we sign off, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this. Leave a comment if you have any questions or experiences you would like to share. Also, feel free to join a Webnestify Discord community. Until our next video, stay connected and thank you for watching.